It's that time of year again. Fall is here, trees are changing, leaves are falling down. Except where I am, in the desert. Which is actually not true. There are a lot of trees. No, just look. Hang on. Oh, nope, there's one. And we are already back in school. Get high. Time to sharpen your pencils, open your notebooks, and write down whatever ChatGPT comes up with. Which is terrible, right? Like, how are the kids going to learning now? When LLMs started to blow up, which, yes, from here on out, I'm just going to refer to it as AI because schools and teachers realized that students were using AI to do their work. And I mean, look, if all the jobs done by humans are just going to be taken by AI, what does it even matter, you know? However, it appears that the turns have tabled, and the use of AI is not only allowed, it's being encouraged. Not to do the work, but to assist, kind of like a study buddy. AI already replacing classmates. When will the madness end? Using AI to do your work is cheating. And when you cheat, you're only cheating yourself. Am I right, Miss Peabody? Huh? See, I listened in class, you didactic misanthrope. Now, my view on AI is complicated, and I'm not going to go into depth with it here. Let's just say I'm a really harsh critic that finds these tools to be kind of useful in certain circumstances, but doesn't exactly match the claims. And yet, when I was having a conversation with a friend about this, I kind of surprised myself when my first thought was, yeah, I did want kids to use AI in school, not to help, but to cheat. I have a long-standing beef with school. It's supposed to be about learning, developing critical thinking, and problem solving, but in practice, it seems like school is more concerned with learning how to memorize things and taking tests. Now, I figured if this is the system that school devolved into, I wanted AI to break it. If schoolwork was so formulaic that it was easy for ChatGPT to come along and just do the work for you, then what are we really learning? And this video kind of started as just me wanting to casually shoot the breeze, just a non-serious chat about how homework sucks and finally have an excuse to rant about the 5-paragraph essay. I started to realize that I actually might be mad at the wrong thing. But before we get to that, a message from those who make this video possible. Hey friend, no need to introduce yourself. We've already met. I get questions asked all the time, like, where are you? Why are you like this? But I only ever have one question. Do you hate being mind controlled? Yeah, me too. Someone should do something about that. Welcome back. It's been a second since I graduated high school, so I wanted to get a solid understanding of what the school experience is like nowadays. So I decided to go undercover as a high school student for a semester.
Yeah, let's see how you do under pressure. Oh, yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey.
Yeah, that was expected. I know I don't look a day over 16, and I know words like skibbity, Ohio, no cap, for real, but I don't know who would have a greater nightmare, me or the kids. Like, have you seen these kids lately? You ask them a question and they just stare at you. It's like, is nobody home? I'm already surrounded by adults that may have graduated high school, but mentally, they never left. And have you ever thought, like, man, I'd love to go back to high school knowing what I know now? Yeah, that's you. I'm describing you. You are one of those adults. Instead, I'm just gonna teleport you with my words. Let's go back in time to my high school creative writing class. Memory is a bit of a fickle thing. Certain details I don't necessarily remember, but I remember things like how the desks were arranged. I know where I sat. I know that the girl I had a crush on at the time was in the class. Also, I think this is the class that I vaguely remember an assignment where we had to analyze song lyrics, and somebody did Sir Mix-a-Lot's Put 'Em on the Glass. Simpler times. Usually, after an assignment, the teacher would pull a student's work anonymously so that we can discuss and analyze it. One such piece included a particular line that we spent a very long time discussing. I shall now read the line. These are not my glasses. I feel like somebody is using the fork in my road for their pork and beans. I'll give you a moment to process this. You done yet? I'll ask you, dear viewer. What do you think this line means? Your microphone has been activated. Please speak your answer now. No, I'm sorry. That is incorrect. We were asked over and over what this line meant, and the response was always no, try again. When the teacher finally gave their response, everybody was kind of like, didn't we basically say that? It is entirely possible that if I went back in time and observed that discussion, I'd be shaking my head thinking, damn, you guys are so close. And I'm sharing this story to use it as a bit of a proxy for a lot of times that this has happened in other classes. It wasn't like it was part of the curriculum where the teacher had worksheets and tests for established lessons. This wasn't no, try again while discussing The Scarlet Letter or To Kill a Mockingbird or Lord of the Flies. We're talking about a student's work. We were still wrong, as though there was a right answer. I started to develop a real hate for reading. And I know I'm not alone either. I took it even further. I stopped reading textbooks because clearly, if I wasn't reading right, then what's the point? Like, I'll just wait for the lecture. I saw it as gatekeeping answers, that if I got it, then it was through osmosis or attrition. If you taught something and then asked a question, I should know the answer. If I didn't, then I didn't learn it. I just happened to be really, really good at that. I graduated with honors, but it was because I was really good at seeing and applying patterns to be able to solve problems. And I didn't really have this issue with math or science. It's like the way that I think and the thought processes that go through my head actually worked really, really well for those subjects. In math, there were definitive answers. I could say 1 times 1 is equal to 2, and that would be incorrect. This is algebra, not teriology. We don't learn teriology until grad school.
Electricity contracts, magnetism expands. It's the radiation compared to the so-called gravitative force. That's how I see it.
And I started to wonder if the thing I was experiencing in other classes is the same thing that people feel about math class. If for me, numbers are just making sense, then I don't have a problem doing the work and then jumping straight to the solution. It's about practice, understanding the problem, not serving the answer. And at any point, were any of us told that? I aced math because my brain already worked that way. You hate math because you thought the point was getting the right answer. That is how I thought about subjects like English. I became the kid who would do the assignments at the last minute because I'm sitting here this whole time trying to figure out the right words that the teacher wanted, and it would never happen. So I'm rushing the night before to get the work done. I feel like somebody is using the fork in my road for their pork and beans. I was standing at a crossroads trying not to walk down the wrong path. Meanwhile, I'm not getting the answers that I hope for, And I'm feeling like my experience is being trivialized while somebody else takes the fork in my road to eat their pork and beans. I was frustrated that no one was telling me what road to go down, which leads into adulthood. And I realized I was going to have to do all of this myself. No one was going to help me. If I want to learn something, if I wanted to get better at something, I had to declare mental war on myself. I would painstakingly spend hours upon hours shedding blood, sweat, and tears, tearing myself apart, beating myself up, forcing myself to do work over and over again until I got it. And the thing is, it works. I found the most toxic way to practice and exercise craft, only it cost me my sanity. And it seems like school should have taught me a better way to learn. Provide guardrails to guide me in repetition and practice to develop skills in how to learn. To give me problems and to use tools to solve them. Maybe test me every once in a while to see where I might need to do some improvements, to see where I might need to focus a little bit more energy. Oh shit. If that's the system that you want to stick to, then it needs to be abundantly clear that the point is in developing the tools to learn. Kids are not dumb, but this process leaves them stranded. They are looking to you for guidance. All you keep saying is, this will be on the test. So then that's the thing that's going to be prioritized. Then a whole new concept is introduced. And in the young brain, it's not seen as a tool or a method. It's seen as law. This, for me, was the 5-paragraph essay.
Do more than just fly on it. Stand on that hill, you gon' die on it. Boom, boom.
I figured in the spirit of talking about the 5-paragraph essay that I would write this section in the same structure. So here it goes. The 5-paragraph essay is, and that's as far as I got. If you are not familiar or don't remember the 5-paragraph essay, let me explain. The 5-paragraph essay is made up of 5 paragraphs. Don't get sassy with me. There might be somebody out there who just went, oh, that makes sense now. The first paragraph is the introduction, the last paragraph is the conclusion, with 3 body paragraphs sandwiched in between. The introductory paragraph sets the table for what the essay will be about, usually includes some background information, a fun fact, a contradictory belief. It is a setup for essentially what the essay is going to be about. It also contains the thesis. The thesis is the claim that will be made and usually includes the 3 arguments that will be used to defend the thesis. Those 3 arguments are the basis for the content of the 3 following body paragraphs. The conclusion paragraph is a summary of the content, including restating the thesis, the arguments, and maybe a call to action. It's like writing for psychopaths, which is unfair, I know. If I had access to ChatGPT when I was in school, I would have absolutely used it to write these essays. My thought process in writing seemed completely incompatible with this format. The thing you have to understand is that for years, whenever somebody said the word essay, I thought you very specifically meant 5-paragraph essay. 5-paragraph essay wasn't a method, it was essay. If you said, write an essay about summer vacation, I'm sitting in the corner trying to figure out how the fuck do you write a thesis for that? I started doing a lot of skimming around to see if the 5-paragraph essay was still being taught, and started reading a lot of teachers' takes on using this method in classrooms. And it made me wonder. I've been writing since I was 10, and lately I've been conducting a war on my writing. I feel like whatever heartbeat that I used to have, I don't have it anymore. And the only way through is to do. And this is craft. I'm experimenting, I'm setting constraints and boundaries, and even battle trying to break the habit of perfectionism that I kind of picked up from the professional world. The 5-paragraph essay was a scourge to me. It needed to die. It wasn't the final boss, but it was the side villain and the most difficult boss in the game. And as I was reading about these takes on the 5-paragraph essay, I thought, maybe that could be an interesting exercise. Like pick a topic and write a 5-paragraph essay. Adapt my writing and my methods, and not so much that I'll enjoy the structure, but maybe I could learn something from the experience. Dude!
Let's see how you do under pressure. A moment can live on forever. Yeah.
The anonymous author of the Pork and Beans poem had come to me sometime after that class, and he asked me, "Do you know why I wrote that line?" Your microphone has been activated. Please speak your answer now. No, I'm sorry. That is incorrect. He said, I thought it sounded cool. Sometimes we face a decision that we think is a big deal, and we don't want to get it wrong. We don't want to walk the path only to realize, oh, I wasted time, or now I'm stuck with this option. Who knows how things could have gone if I did things a bit differently? And it's a big deal to us. Meanwhile, it feels like nobody sees that. They're just off eating their pork and beans. So here I am, as a kid, trying to understand, waiting for somebody to tell me what to do. And no one does. And I become mad at the system that I thought was supposed to help me. Adult me comes along, eating my pork and beans, saying, bruh, it's not that deep. But to me, there's this additional layer of context that it's a lesson in sometimes you just never know what's going to resonate. You just do the absolute best that you have, and you come up with an idea that you think is cool. It's a reminder to me that you can't think about doing the work or how to do it right. All you can really do is the work. That cool line never becomes anything if all you do is nothing. When it comes to AI, everyone keeps wondering which road to walk down. Do you ban it? Do you allow it? Is it good? Is it bad? As though any of these are the real debate. AI is the one that's using a fork in your road for its pork and beans. You don't whisk eggs with a hammer. But if you've never whisked eggs before, how do you know a hammer is not the tool that you use? For years now, I thought I was mad at a system, and maybe I still am, but I had to spend a lot of time outside of school kind of rethinking how to learn. Now, looking back with some wisdom and experience, the pieces were all kind of there, but at the time it felt like I was supposed to serve the right answers and not the actual process of learning how to learn. But I think AI might be doing what I actually wanted all along, and that was to start a conversation. That sometimes it's not about the answers, it's how you think about the question, and how you just can't manufacture brilliance. Sometimes you just write a cool line, and it changes the course of history. And then you're out there making slop because you don't know what it means to not make slop. And then you're standing at a crossroads, not really sure what to do, feeling like everybody cares more about eating their pork and beans than what you're going through, when the truth is that you're the one that has the work to do. So in conclusion, no, actually, I'm going to ask ChatGPT to write a conclusion in 3 sentences. So in conclusion, school often felt like memorization, tests, and chasing the right answers. From the 5-paragraph essay to overanalyzing a classmate's line about pork and beans. Later reflection shows how meaning can't be forced and only emerges from doing the work. The real point of school was never the answers, but the practice. And AI doing the work only proves that the work itself is learning how to learn. Did that make sense? Did any of that make sense? The middle sentence kind of made sense. Everything else. And that's what you want doing your work? Coming up with that? What is that? It was garbage. However, are you saying I could have saved several days working on this video? That's all I needed to do? Kind of feel like a fool now. A lot of wasted work. Well, I guess since we're all here and I haven't done anything funny for a while, why don't I make like a montage of some of the best parts of the first take of this video so that doesn't feel like it was a total waste. I really like honeys. Give that tall glass of water something to drink. Learn something new about myself every day.
Let's see how you do under pressure. Give them a name to remember.
Okay, Miss Peabody, there you go. Do I get an A now? Can I go home? Fuck, man.